And so sometimes we have students here that get to side control and then they just don't know what to do. They don't know what their next step is. My name's Nathan Haddad. I'm a black belt under Helio Seneca. Today I'm going to show you some tips on how to advance from side control into mount or into some different submissions. We're going to start here in standard side. I'm going to block my partner's hip and cover his shoulder. Okay, I'm going to advance my pin here by taking a crossface and Max's underhook. First thing, my left hand's going to start to scoop Max's head, and I'm going to control. Now, my right hand's going to pummel to the inside, and I'm going to take away Max's underhook, connect my hands, and get my ear tight to Max's shoulder just to make sure he doesn't frame across my face. From here, I'm going to take my left knee, and I'm going to bring it to my right to open Max's elbow outside of his body like this. I open. So if you notice now, Max, just stay here, both of Max's elbows are away from his body. Okay, whenever I teach people defense from side control, the first thing that we look at is getting our hands in defensive positions, getting our elbows tight to our body. So on offense, I want to take all that away from him. Again, I start in this standard side, I take inside position, I take inside position. Now my knee takes inside position, and I'm not done here. I'm going to pull my left elbow to my hip this way to make sure that I really have full inside position. And again, Max's tricep is now up here by my hip bone, okay? So now that I've made a better pin, I can start to advance my position. The first thing that I like to do here is softly touch my right knee to my partner's belly. And I do this for a few different reasons. In some tournaments, when my knee goes to the belly, I score points, right? Knee on belly. By just posting here, I've scored an additional 2 points, okay? What I'm also doing is seeing if I get a reaction out of Max. Sometimes I don't. My partner's just stuck. I'm going to open my elbow. I'm going to put my head to the floor, and I'm going to start to take a mounted position. As soon as I get to mount, my hands disconnect. I start spider walking my right hand high and passing Max's elbow in front of my face. Now I connect elbow to elbow, and I start sliding up into a high mount position. From here, we have a ton of different attacks. We can smother our partner. We can start moving into different head and arm chokes, but we've put ourselves in a very stable mount, ready to then, again, advance from our mount. So one more time. Put your head here. Yep. We're going to start in this standard side. Notice my left hand's going to scoop Max's neck. My right hand pummels to the inside. And guys, don't forget, this could be a fight here, right? It's not just going to be an easy thing that your partner gives you an underhook. We might end up there in transition. He might have to fight me for it. But in this case, we're taking the underhook and connecting our hands. Now I take my left knee. Watch how I go knee to knee, and I open. If I just stay here, Max can easily put his elbow on the floor. So I have to bring my knee open and now pull my left elbow to my hip. Look how close my knee is to Max's head, how I have my foot flat. From here, I touch my right knee to the floor, to his belly, like this. One. And now, as I open my right elbow, my head goes to the floor, my knee drops heavy. I move right into mount, and I start walking my hand. Look how I just slowly spider walk. As soon as my hand's high enough, I pass my head, I catch, and look how I'm going to go elbow to elbow. What this allows me to do is walk up into high mount. Again, I can smother my partner here. I can go head and arm. But most importantly, I find myself in a tight mount position where I can start playing my game, whichever game you like. Now, remember I said I like to touch my knee on my partner's belly and see what they do. There's a reason for that. If Max gives me the reaction of pushing on my knee, now I have two options. I can either take mount or I can submit him. And I'm going to show you a few different ways you can submit with this triangle choke here. So I got into position. I put my right knee on the belly. Max decides to push. The first attack we're going to do, I'm going to release my grip and take my right hand to the wrist. As my right hand pushes, I'm going to lift up, and my left hand is going to catch my right shin. So it's going to look like this. One. Look how my left hand catches my right shin. Now I'm going to come off the top, figure four my legs, and start to secure my triangle. As I bump my hips, I bring Max's arm across my body. I like to secure my shin again, and now I start to make a strong angle. 1, 2, underneath Max's leg with a scooping grip. I bring my left knee high. Look how I take this space away. A lot of people like to finish triangles here. I just think it takes too much space. I like to finish triangles by bringing my knee up into my partner's ear this way. Now I open my foot, and as I close, I pull down, and I get a super strong finish without really even having to squeeze too hard. Okay? So again, we're in this tight side control that we work to. I put my right knee on the belly. As Max pushes, I push. Look how I'm going to raise. See how my hand kind of lifts his head? Because my leg needs to travel underneath there. As I step, one. Look how tight I am already. I roll to my right. I figure four. I've secured the triangle, but I'm not done yet. I'm going to bridge my hips with my feet locked and bring his arm across my body. Now my left hand grabs my right shin, and I angle. 1, 2, 3. From here, rotate with me here, Max. Other way. Keep going. From here, I like to angle underneath this leg. Now I start to bring my left knee high, and I open my foot. From here, I just close everything down, and I get a super strong finish. Okay? One critique that I have, at least, with a triangle. I like, if I get on top, to stay on top. Sometimes I don't want to give up the top position, but the triangle's right there. If you have good hip dexterity here, it's not a hard thing to stay and mount and finish this as a mounted triangle. So another option that I'd like you guys to play with here, as I put my knee on the belly and Max pushes, I'm going to step over, and now watch how this time when I catch, I'm going to place my head and hand to the floor. 1, 2. And as I do this, rotate with me here, Max. As I do this, watch what happens to my right foot. Watch how it elevates. And now my left foot can come behind, and I can start locking my figure four. From here, I'm going to post my hands on the mat. We don't want to take our hands and pull the head here. Sometimes it just doesn't get our triangle tight enough. What I like to do instead is put my hands in front of me. And now I start walking hand to hand. So my left hand goes to the right, my right hand opens. My left hand goes to the right, and now my right hand's going to go behind Max's hip, and I'm going to sit my butt down. And I get a super strong finish on a mounted triangle. Okay, so one more time on this mounted triangle. We're here. I put the knee to the belly, and again, guys, I can make the decision from here to just go to mount. It doesn't cost me anything. I open, I put my head, and mount. Great option. Or I can look for the submission. Here, he pushes, I post, I step. Now look how my hand's on my shin. Watch my right hand. 1, 2. I raise my right foot, my left leg stays behind. Now my hands come in front of me. I make sure I have a wide base. I'm going to go hand to hand back. Hand to hand back, and now my butt comes low. I get a super strong finish on your mounted triangle. This is just one way that I like to attack from side control. I think it gives us good options, and it, again, makes my partner a little bit nervous of where their arms are. So now Max has to be very careful, and he might just have to let me mount him. So it makes my path a little bit easier. Guys, I often have students come to me and ask how they can get better at jiu-jitsu in a step-by-step format. And although jiu-jitsu is not as linear as that, I do think our online course gives you the option where you can learn in a non-stress environment and go from white belt to black belt with a bunch of different techniques. If you're interested, you can go to coreprobjj.com right here.